Welcome to Ice Fleet. The players are Russian members of a surveying team sent here to the frozen wilderness to plan out a seaport. Instead, they find a frozen fleet and the mysteries that lie within. It is September 1930, not even a decade removed from the formation of the Soviet Union. The characters are Grigor, a meteorologist, Pavel, a guide, Igor, a guide, Oleg, meteorologist and Pavel's younger brother, Oni, a field medic, and Ludmila, a guide. Let's listen as they go on a dark, cold adventure.
Recording. There we go. And I don't need any screen sharing or anything like that because I did it.
Theater of the mind.
It's all theater of the mind. Use your brain, use your imagination. So yes, you guys are a surveying crew. You've been sent up to the frozen tundras of northern Russia. On this barren, inhospitable place. The only thing you recall seeing after you've seen your last tiny village was there was a strange spot where there were stone pillars, and you saw this in like the dusk as the night before you finally made it to this little tiny camp. But there's these stone pillars, almost like a Stonehenge. It kind of caught your eye, but you have a couple of guides that may or may not know some stories about that. I know some of you are guides, so you could, think about, let me know that. But yeah, you are basically, you're in just a tiny barracks. Okay. There's the 6 of you and there's 6 other people. There's 21 dogs here. There's 1 cat here. I mean, this is it's a tiny, like a bunkhouse from a campground. It's just, there's nothing here. There's no electricity. There's no roads. There's none of that. It's just you in the frozen tundra. There's not even trees around because it's so cold that any trees you've seen have just been like little tiny shrubs. The only real sign of life you've seen is lichen, and there's stories that there's polar bears and wolves out there, but what are they eating? There's nothing out here. It's so empty. It's so cold and so miserable. And it's September, and you were out to survey the land and get going and let somebody else come back next summer to clean things up. But 3 weeks ago, as the team was blowing out the permafrost to make room for where you're putting this a seaport that was decided to be built way up here north. They blew up the permafrost, and you saw these things jutting out of the ice, and it looked like trees, from the distance. There's big long, pieces of wood, but upon closer inspection, they were the masts of a fleet of ships. And it was strange to you that, how did these ships get caught in the ice here? So, the surveying stopped while they checked out the boats. And that, so you blew up one of the boats. It was called the St. Anna. And that was, there's more boats that you could see. And that Klimov, and he is he's the leader of the surveying crew, Klimov. He has found the captain's log for the St. Anna. And he's been pretty tight-lipped about it, but he had to make a report. And now that in the coming next 2 days, the government agents are coming. They're called the OGPU soldiers are coming, and they're going to come check it out. And it's got everybody up in arms because they're supposed to be coming within the next 2 days, and there's a lot of worry about what they're going to do because, if it's a big deal, that shuts you down and you don't know what happens. If it's not a big deal, you don't know what kind of attitude you're going to get for, calling them out here into the middle of nowhere. What that might end in some punishment for you because you're not doing your job. You're wasting their time. So there's a little bit of anger, and you've noticed just within the last week, things have been getting real testy in the barracks. Like the door won't close all the way, so it's always a cold breeze coming through, and just people are just getting in each other's way, and there's every now and then it's come to it hasn't quite come to fisticuffs, but you could just feel the tension rising between everybody, and so that's where we're started tonight. And Klimov, the leader of the surveying crew, has now called you all together. He's having a cigarette outside in the cold, and he's called you guys out in the cold, and he's feeding the dogs in the dog pen that's around. Well, good. I am glad you are here.
What did you want from us, comrade?
As you know, we found this ice fleet. It's a big deal. I don't know what it is. It's a big mystery, right?
Yeah, that's why we called out the military, right? That was your decision, right?
Well, I mean, it was my duty. It's not, you say decision as if I had choice. It is my duty to, report what I see and what I find. I make a report every week. I make a report about this. It is what I must do for the mother country, of course.
Of course, comrade. I meant nothing, no disrespect. I just. Why did you call us here?
We're all on edge. I see that with, everybody's within fighting, and it's too cramped in that camp around. Agreed?
Yes.
It's little warmer than outside.
Yeah. I mean, out here it's cold everywhere. Even inside, outside, it's all the same. No. That's why we have these big gloves, big hooded coats.
It is rather unfortunate. This weather will break no time soon.
No, and with the people coming, with the soldiers coming, within 2 days, we only have 2 days for what I want to do.
What is that exactly?
Well, as you know, I've seen the captain's log of the Saint Anna, the first boat we found, right?
Yes.
Now you say this is what you want to do, but we had. Is this not your duty?
Yeah.
What was in the captain's log that has you on edge, comrade?
Well, it's just that it seems the passengers and the crew, they might have been Saurus, aristocrats, maybe left during the start of the revolution.
Tui on them, the aristocrats.
Yes, well, indeed, of course, but that makes me think though that I know not what happened. I care not what happened. They are, we found some remains. They are stuck in ice. They are dead now. However, they cannot take it all with them. Although apparently they tried to take a lot with them, if you know what I mean. And I know that in this new.
So you want us to do an initial survey of the fleet?
Well, I just think that, in this, obviously with, this new right of everybody's equal and everybody share alike. But I think we all know that some people share more alike with others and others. Money still talks even in this great new world of ours. Plus, who knows what else is there? What mysteries? What else? What other mysteries might there be? Besides.
Well, you're the one who read the captain's log. What other mysteries might there be?
Well, that's the thing. I don't.
There are many ships there.
I only know that they sent out an SOS at one point that was never answered. But otherwise, no real answers.
Well, what is in this SOS?
Only that they found something, and that some things were happening, but it was very, very vague.
This desolate place? What could we find?
Crew unrest, but I figure crew always unrest. You're on a long boat journey. I mean, there's always crew unrest, but it seemed more than that. This captain was very, very concerned about something he found, and he almost wanted to turn around, but whatever happened, he stopped here in the middle of nowhere and got frozen in this ice. I know that you six are my more adventurous surveyors and meteorologists and whatnot. I know that I can see within you that you're the craving for adventure and for knowledge, and that is why I called you to help me, see more, find more.
And if we find more, as the more adventurous, we get more, right? All things being equal, of course.
All things being equal, but I'd rather be equal in warmer spots, Pavel.
Yes, all things being equal amongst the 7 of us, not the 12 of us.
I mean, depending on what we find, it could be equal between 12 of us and go no further. I don't,
So they're coming with. Are the rest of them coming with us?
No, but not in this first expedition. But I mean, look at our small camp. How many secrets can be kept?
I like our odds if we find something. 7 of us, 5 of them, but.
I'll tell you what I did see, though.
Depends on what we find.
Well, I mean, we will get to that bridge. We'll cross it when we get to that bridge.
Well, I'm fine going. I don't want to be around Vladimir anymore. He smells worse than these dogs of yours.
These dogs are friendlier, too.
Exactly.
I think to prevent conflict, I'll leave half of a crate of sample preservation fluid with the camp, and we'll take the other half.
I go where Pavel goes.
Thank you, little brother.
Indeed.
I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what I did see. The last time I was on the Santa Ana, the boat, the wind was picking up, and I knew that it was getting dark. It was time to return, but looking down, I noticed something. There was in the ice next to the boat was another boat, a small brig. Looked like it was the Gordy, the Proud. According to the log, it was stuck in ice right beside this steamship Santa Ana. But between the two, I saw a strange protrusion within the ice between them. Oh, it was like an explosion, but it was like frozen solid. It wasn't, it shimmered. It was very strange. It caught my eye. I see this protrusion, this thing is like somehow connecting the two boats. But I think there's something in that breach between that, something there. And I think that is what makes me the most curious. That's what I want us to look for.
Well, let us go. I shall guide the way.
As you know, it's still a few miles, a few kilometers out of here. We'll take 2 dog sleds.
Comrade Klimov, are we sure it is safe enough for a lovely young lady to join us on such a harrowing chase for excitement?
Are you talking about me?
Yeah.
I will be fine. No need to worry.
Soviet Russia, all are equal.
Yes, you all are equal. That's right, Grigor. That's right.
Oleg, you will never have a chance with Ludmilla.
I could take you in an arm wrestle any day.
That is quite likely.
I will not be joining you on this journey, however. I must stay behind on the expedition. I must keep the other 6 in line, and I must be here in case these soldiers show up early. I don't want them to, but I will. If they do, I will distract them otherwise, maybe with these stone pillars or maybe with another show them the dig site before we get to the boats. I don't know. I will figure it out if it happens.
Very well. We'll leave in morning light.
Yes, grab plenty of supplies. You never know what you'll find there. Get lamps, lanterns, ice picking tools, rope. You take it.
Basic explorers pack, yeah.
10-foot pole, all of the above.
Spam.
Caltrops.
Bring many tins of meat.
Mm-hmm.
Bring these anchovies and sardines. Take as many as you want. I don't want them.
All right. Pavel, as a guide, would probably know what to take to pack for 2 sleds worth of stuff. I'm guessing with 3 of us on a sled, dogs pulling it, and we've each got quite a bit that we could probably carry on the back of the sleds.
That's what they're made for.
Out of game question. So Chad, your character Igor. What is, or unless it's pronounced Igor. What is your profession within our group?
Igor is also a guide. We have all guides.
So is Lumila.
Oh,
yeah, I'm
the 3 of us will be able to pack.
We're
well.
so good. Yeah.
I'm a meteorologist, so I'm a whole lot of good.
I am also a meteorologist, although
I got competition. Jeez. And Oni, what's Oni? Oni's the medic, right?
I am the field medic.
Yes. Oh, thank God.
We got one. Yes.
Oh, and then
Oni, you should pack equipment in case, God forbid, anyone gets injured. Or like Gregor, whatever. You bring whatever tools you need. I don't even understand.
Bone saw.
Igor, Ludmilla, and I will pack up. Before Klimov leaves, may we bring a couple rifles with us?
Yes, 1 per sled. So 2.
These rifles are big enough for bears, I hope.
Should I go to the weapons chest and get those out, comrade?
Yes, go for it. Yes.
All right. When I get to the weapons chest, what else do I see in there? Grenades, plastic. Is there handguns? Like, is there more that I could take?
I mean, there's like dynamite for the blasting of the permafrost. There's but otherwise, there's a couple handguns as well.
I will take a couple of handguns and the plastic as well. Igor and Lumilla and I will surreptitiously get that stuff.
Good going, Pavel. Good thinking.
Well, it seems kind of less important that I have a gun now, doesn't it? If everybody else is going to have a gun all willy-nilly.
Seems kind of less important somebody has a flask when I'm stashing away a half a crate of sample preservation food.
Right.
I thought you were going to say since somebody else has opium, maybe a flask isn't as useful.
We don't know how much opium. Half a kilo? I don't know.
Anyways, Grigor and Oleg, you know that as meteorologists, you notice that that this area is known for its like you've seen meteorites in this area. It's like a known phenomenon for this this far north and that is something that you guys know just offhand. But very well, the next morning comes and it's just another bitter cold morning in the Russian tundra.
Fucking cold yesterday, cold today, fucking cold tomorrow. All I do is like write down numbers for my instruments in the log. There's no forecasting to be done.
Well, let's say goodbye to the red shirts and get on our way.
We're the red shirts.
Oh, damn it.
We'll just say goodbye to the what are they called? But extras, and just in cases.
As you see, Pavel, I've worn my red long johns for this trip.
Never a good idea, Oleg. Never a good idea.
I got one hit point. Yeah, out of game question. Is there so if I lose my one hit point, can the medic save me from death, or am I screwed?
Well, I believe I don't know if I put it in there, but once you start losing hit points, like you lose your hit point, but then you start losing your strength score. So whenever your strength score starts going down, and once the strength score goes down, if your strength score gets to 0, that's when you're dead.
Okay.
But also, though, if you do drop to 0 hit points, then you have to make a critical roll versus your strength. So, like, you have 1 hit point. Okay. So if you take 4 hit points, you lose the 1 hit point and then 3 hit points, and then you'd have to roll versus your new strength score, which is whatever your strength is minus 3. Okay. And if it's critical, shit happens. Like I said, if you drop to 0, then you're dead.
Got it. Cool.
All right, so let's head out, make sure the dogs are in good shape, and head towards the ship. I'm assuming that at least one of us guides has been to this place before.
Yeah, I mean, you've all seen it. Like those talk about it. It was kind of where you were surveying anyways. So
yep.
And everybody, you've had time to look, but not really explore this boat.
Oleg's going to try to get on the sled with Ludmilla.
She moves. She's like, you know what? Actually, I'm going to get on the other sled.
The dogs are barking and yipping at each other. And even they seem kind of oddly enough, they seem like they're also on edge. They're kind of being more nippy, snapping, for their food and treats, snapping at each other more than is usual that you've seen. And you're just like, maybe the damn cold is getting to them as well. Who knows? But you head out the couple kilometers. And you get to you're overlooking this bay of frozen ice, this glacier, and you see the masts sticking out, and you see the boat that the Saint Anna, the one that has been cleared off, and you can see from here that it looks like you can see the top of the bridge, and there's a hole. A tear in the top of the bridge that you might be able to, the top deck, or you might be able to get through the bridge. But that's what you see, and you also see the two giant pipes, the steam pipes, further beyond the big mast that's sticking out.
The Santa Ana, are more than one boat available? Exposed at the surface that we can get in, or are they all submerged?
No, they're all submerged. It's just the St. Anna is the only one that's kind of been sort of cleared away that you could start making out that it used to be a boat, whereas the rest of them you just see the tops of masts or the tops of steam ships, steam things. It's maybe a dozen boats altogether, but a dozen masts. But you don't know how many boats are frozen in the ice, whether this entire fleet was there, what it is, but this St. Anna is the only one that you can see. But you can also see from this distance, they're kind of the gap between where the more ice is. There's another gap, and you see where probably Klimov said he saw the second boat frozen in ice. But it seems still frozen solid that you wouldn't be able to get to that boat. You'd have to make it through the St. Anna.
All right.
Well, let's do that.
Right. Let's I'm sure we brought enough flashlights. Let's check below on the Santa Ana.
Only make sure to grab a bag with some of the essential medical equipment, a bone saw, some bandages.
I will also grab a bottle.
Stuff in a small bag.
There you go.
I will grab a bottle along with my flashlight. And I'll start off with some Dutch courage, and then I'll go below.
All right, so you're stepping on what you assume is the promenade deck of the Saint Anna. You've left the dogs kind of, tied off at the end, I assume, just close at hand, but not too far off. The promenade wraps around the ship's middle third. Its front occupied by the captain's quarters and bridge. Its back diving into impenetrable snow. Two massive funnels protruding from the deck cast long shadows and provide some small shelter from the bitter cold wind. A trail of cleared snow leads around a giant tear in the ship. And it goes to the broken windows of the bridge. So there's you're on the promenade, there's like a tear going down, and beyond that is the windows to the bridge. And you notice that by those steam funnels, there are some skylights leading down into the boat as well. There's a jumble of snow, broken plates, and iron lining a large tear in lining that large tear in the ship, and crooked metal strips of torn casing glistening with neat rows of rivets raised up like tentacles of some mystic beast. So something really busted into this thing is really torn in. So that's what you see here on the top of the boat.
I would think we should start at the bridge.
That twisted skylight you just described is it torn and twisted going in or torn and twisted coming out?
It's torn and twisted going in, and it's more of a tear. There are actual skylights. Like the skylights and the tear in the ship are two separate things. The skylights are, you just know from they're just part of the boat, and they were made this way, and they're made of glass. Where this tear, something tore through it somehow, and it seems to be going. It seems like almost as if the boat maybe was kind of broken and at this tear, and that just blasted up that way.
The tear that is in the boat, does that appear to be from an animal or something larger that we wouldn't be unable to recognize?
I mean, it's why don't you give me an intelligence? You can roll against your intelligence.
We don't have will.
Yeah, strength, will.
Roll against your will.
Okay, with a D20.
Yeah, and you want to meet it or under it.
Oh yeah. Igor goes, well, I never seen quite a beast like this. Yes. Definitely not a ferret. Not a ferret. Something much larger. He has no idea.
Of course it's not a ferret, Igor. There's no ferrets up here.
Well,
I think it's some sort of sea creature, of course. Only thing big enough lives out here. Whale or squid or merman.
Yeah, I guess it could be a merman. Yes.
Brother, there's no such thing as a merman.
Oh, you learned that in your fancy college, did you, Oleg? Igor and I have been out here in the wilds. We've seen all sorts of things that your college books wouldn't explain.
You don't have to belittle me just because I took the time to get an education for myself.
What do you mean belittle? You are little.
Why must you always do this to me in front of others?
You mean in front of Ludmilla is what you mean? Little brother.
No, he's through. He's through. This we when we were younger guys, we had a friend, Spingjoke, and he was quite savvy with the merwomen. He used to tell many tales of his wild nights. And,
yes, of course. He was a sicko. I would never be caught with a merwoman.
You say it right there, Igor. Tales. They are simply tales.
They have tails.
No more than stories. You speak of stories that you find in children's books, not the kind of books I would read from in school, Pavel.
Those are all stories. Just different types of stories.
And I have a book on mermaid woman. I'll show you when we get back. It's very true.
It's not to be seen in mixed company.
So
no offense, Ludmilla.
Oh, none taken. I have my own book.
So we're all decided it's merman, and let's go down and find the merman.
All right. So where, so like you have options.
We'll start at the bridge.
Start at the bridge. All right. So yeah, you're able to, like the window has long, the viewing window to see out has long since been shattered and is broken. It's gone. Pavel, Igor, and Grigor was the other guy, third guy, correct? You notice white tufts of fur kind of like clinging to, like as you go into it, so clinging to like any edges of the, ripped metal or ripped glass. You see tufts of white fur clinging to surfaces. But yeah, you enter the bridge and there's just the smell of just the sea, but like rotting sea, like a when the sea gets stagnant, like a little tide pool, there's just rot in the air. The bridge has just been torn and sacked. Drawers are pulled out and lying open. There seems to be like missing books. There's an open door in the back. You see a messy pile of human remains, and the door it leads to a staircase that leads down. And you know for certain that Klimov has been here, so he's probably the one who's been ransacking the place, probably.
So,
but
do men have white fur?
No, this is either obviously Yeti. Yeah, exactly. Grigor knows it's either a polar bear or Yeti. Possibly snow fox, but more likely Yeti or polar bear or potentially a Krampus.
Pavel, you make up these fantastical creatures, and they're nothing. It's nothing but talk.
Ludmilla, Igor, back me up, right? You know Abominable Snowman.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also have a book on that one. It much more graphic read. Yes, you're into such thing.
It's strange though that they left the human remains. You would think that they'd take it back to their cave and eat it, like the Wampas.
Then that's the points to the. Then that definitely points to Krampus. Yes.
There you go.
Okay, we all decided this Krampus now.
I am going to take another long drink from a bottle, and I said, "Let's go find this Krampus."
I go up to Grigor and I go, would you? I will share my spam if you will share your drink. I cannot take my brother sober in this state.
I got a half a crate, so yeah, I'll pass you a bottle over.
Well,
yeah,
Is there any equipment that would be useful here?
I'll take a look around and see if I see any, see if they had a first aid kit or something.
All right. I mean, you look through it. Whether if there was some first aid kit here, I mean, you think there probably should have been, with being in the bridge of the boat, but as long as there's nothing useful in any of these turned up drawers or anything that you can find.
It's all right. I brought enough supplies. We'll be fine. But I was hoping to find some good pills or something.
Is there any radio or electronic equipment that might be there or working?
You do see a spot where like I guess a telegram maybe would probably be era appropriate for this kind of thing. But it's long rusted over and frozen over, but it's frosted over because it's long since disconnected.
Do we have any sense of how long the dead guy's been here?
You can spend some time investigating that.
That seems more of an Oni thing than for me. I'd like to go down the stairs.
I'm field medic. I am not tech.
Pavel only is man of education like me. He's not a what they call the investigators type people.
What do I know?
You are a guide. You should look and see things. That's his perfect.
Tell you where to go.
That's his perfect investigation.
I tell you where to go. Oni, go look at the dead man. I will go down the stairs with the lantern.
I did not. I did not know we voted for you as leader of this exposition.
You just said I was the guide. I'm guiding you down the stairs.
A guide, not the guide.
Okay,
I'm already gone. You guys are still arguing.
I let Igor Ludmilla lead us there.
We go see if there's Krampus droppings down in the gullet to the ship. Yes.
And all right. Why don't you go check out the dead guy? Try to figure out what killed him.
Absolutely. Why don't you roll me a d20?
All right, I am rolling. I got a 9.
First of all, this body has seen, like these remains have seen, like they've been chewed on, eaten about. But what the strange thing that catches your eye is that this person's legs seem like they were stuck in the broken floorboards, as if in the jaws of some beast, as if the floorboards were the jaws of some beast that like somehow like trapped this man, this human, and stuck him there, and that's how he died. But he's also been eaten. I mean, it's despite being frozen, there's still there's frozen blood, there's frozen gore. It's pretty nasty. But
someone nibbled on this man. Someone nibbled.
You do notice as you're checking him out, pouring through, like a piece of paper falls out of his pocket, out of the remnants of his clothes.
I pick it up and unfold it and see if I can make out anything.
Yeah, and this is the strange thing, is that it's an admiral's letter. It's got like this very fancy type, this naval typography, this very fancy paper, and like very official looking, and it's from an Admiral Guzentis, and he decrees that the command of the whole flotilla of this fleet should be given command to Oni Bogdanov. Bogdanov is command of the entire flotilla is now to Oni Bogdanov.
This is. I was never told about any sort of command like this. Apparently this fleet is mine.
However, as you say that out loud, there's nobody around because they've all gone down the steps.
I just turn around and go, oh, I'll hold on to this for later, and I fold it up and put it in my pocket.
All right, so you go down the I guess it's the four staircase, heading downstairs, and you get to you can go all the way down to the lower deck. You could head to the main deck, or it also heads down to the upper deck. So I guess there's upper, main deck, and lower deck. So tell me which. I mean, the upper deck would be the first deck that you would be able to you go down the steps and hit the upper deck.
I would say we would just go deck by deck, right?
Especially since the aristocrats and their money are probably on the upper deck.
The aristocrats.
Do we get the sense that going down one deck that we're at sea level?
So as you go to the upper deck, I mean, there's still light filtering in from those skylights above you. There are some portholes that are filtering in some light. So it's very dim light in here on the upper deck, and you feel like you are lowering, and the ice was here at one point, but there is enough filtering through that it's not completely pitch black, but it's still.
But the portholes are under the ice.
They were at some point they might have been that they've been blasted away.
Oh, okay.
So and if you go towards the aft of the ship, which is the back of the ship, that was, from what you saw from up top, that there's parts of that are still under the ice.
Gotcha.
Is ice forcing its way in through the portholes? Or is it pretty much clear still?
I mean, there's frost and there's snow coming in. It's not pushed through. It's not frozen on the inside yet.
Okay, I get mixed feelings from mixed message from Boss Man that are we looking for treasure, or are we going to investigate the implosion?
I Grigor, I feel he wishes for both.
Well, first things first then, and I start going through some dresser drawers.
Sure. What here on the upper deck? What I'll tell you is there are 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 doors off of this upper deck. You notice that the lacquered wood in this kind of main deck glistens between moldy carpets and green and gold floral wallpaper. There are polished brass handrails, and there are what appear to be electric lamps lining the walls, as if this was kind of a fancier boat, as it is. And as I said, there are 5 doors leading off of this upper deck.
So it's one for each of us, it would appear.
It's 6 of us. Oleg, what did that count?
Well, no, because Oni's still up top.
Oh,
right.
True.
Oni owns it all now, but you don't know that.
Yeah.
We open all on count of 3.
There we go.
All right. We'll just go in order as I see it. Oleg, your door is locked.
Okay. I have a fork. I want to try to pick the lock with the fork.
Okay. Why don't you roll me for dexterity?
Oh, that's at least not my worst stat, so that's good. Under to do well, right?
Yeah, you want to meet it or go under it. And you know what? I'm going to
Give me
feel
advantage?
like maybe you should have disadvantage because you're using a fork as opposed to.
Well,
I'll tell you what. Here's what you do. This is a complex save. So if you pass, you roll d20 twice. If you make both of them, you pass totally. If you only one passes, you marginally achieve your goal.
Okay.
And a twist or complication may be introduced. And if neither roll pass, then nothing. You don't make it. So.
I don't know what ever made me thought I was going to pick a lock with a goddamn fork. And I bend two of the tines on the fork as nothing happens because I rolled over on both my. Yeah,
you bend it and you hear the snap and now you just have a two you just have a one-tined fork as the other ones have stuck into the keyhole.
Unsuccessful down here.
All right, Ludmila, you find yourself, basically the four staircase exits into this room, and it's a first class. It's a saloon. There's gloomy daylight leaking through skylights and stained glass windows. So above, this is where those skylights that you saw above are kind of leading into. There is, you're kind of behind a stage area, and you open these double doors into this. It's pretty dim in here, but it's without you do have the lights coming in. You see that there are remains of the band. They're lying near their instruments where they have died, and there are other passengers frozen around overturned tables and scattered chairs. You can almost hear, you could sense the music and the fun that was had here, but right now it is just a chamber of death, and it's pretty opulent in here. It's lacquer and food stained white linen tablecloths, and there are more doors heading further in.
I say jackpot, and I start looking through the remains to see if there's anything that sparkles in the light or.
Sure, absolutely. Why don't you roll me a d20?
D20. Okay, so I got a 14.
Yeah, you find yourself a nice handy pocket mirror, a compact, but it's a very fancy one. You could tell that. This is not your standard Russian Soviet issued compact. This is really nice.
This is luxury.
Yeah, it's got the filigree and all of that good stuff. You know that this would get you some extra foods or whatever you needed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you see in the saloon amongst all of these bodies. But it does lead further into another gallery, and Igor leaves you to explore it. He goes further into the next gallery. This is a shooting gallery. It's a spot where the rich would have, had some fun, as it were. It used to be open to the sea breeze, but is now enclosed by a wall of packed snow. And there's more that there's more light here that you could still see. And what you see are 20 soldiers lying scattered along this railing. So this is the starboard side. I don't know boat shit. That's not my thing. But it's it's like an open deck, open area. But there are 20 soldiers, dead soldiers, lying scattered along the railing, their bodies frozen in anguish. They have they're frozen guns in their hands. You see one, it looks like an officer. He's slumped by the door that you just entered. He has a gun in his mouth. And a lot of these bodies lying dead have been gnawed at. They're missing limbs, and more than just shot and killed, there's desecrated somehow and torn apart.
So Igor will go over to the one in particular holding the gun to its head and look at it, see if he sees that it pulled the trigger or didn't. I assume that wouldn't be an investigation check.
No, you check on that, and it's clear that this guy he pulled the trigger on himself.
Hmm.
And you can make me a D20 as well.
Yeah, as he's trying to go through maybe his pockets and stuff with an 18 on the die, whatever that may be. Though it seems like high is bad in this game.
No, you find you find like in the one hand he has the revolver, and it seems like in the other hand, or at least just put away, was a bottle of gin that was it's still got some gin in it because it's gin never froze, right?
Yeah. He sloshes like it around.
You think it's taking maybe half of it is gone. Guy probably slurped it down before.
Yeah. So Igor will
before the end, trigger alert, suicide.
Give a pull on both of those items, and possibly I'm sure he snaps off a few fingers or whatever's remaining there.
Oh yeah, I mean like this. This one guy hasn't been gnawed at as much as some of the other bodies, which just it's a gruesome sight. Like you see that. I mean, as if something came in and just tore these bodies, some of them to pieces, as if something's been feasting on them, as it were.
So Igor will just kind of look. He'll end his turn with like looking around the room and kind of looking where the hole was, and he sits down where the dead guy's at, right next to him, and then holds the pistol and takes a sip. He kind of tries to put himself in that mind, and that's what he did.
You try to think of like what would drive why, what happened here. It's very curious. It's a very curious sight. You're trying to wonder like. This guy's a soldier. He's big up. He's a a ranking officer, and at least in the old times, and you know that he probably had seen some things and done some things. What would make him do this is, and that's a mystery to you. But we go to Pavel, who is checking out the lounge. This is for an area for reading and games, but it is now an icy cave. Bodies, luggage, and lounge chairs are scattered around. In the center of the room is in the main companionway with aged brass railings that lead above deck and below is the aft staircase. So this is like a big opulent staircase. The one going up to where the promenade where you were is blocked by mast and rigging and a bunch of snow coming in. And the far end of the room is packed snow, but there is another door, you could say, at the end of the room, buried under the ice and snow. And this is where you and Grigor go. And it is so there's another staircase going on the back of the aft of the boat up and down. Or there's this last door, the smoking room for Grigor. And yes, do you see bodies around? The answer is yes, of course there are bodies around. Sean, you can roll me Pavel, you can roll me a D20 to tell me what kind of bodies, what happened here.
Well,
I gotta say, bodies, luggage, and lounge chairs, great band name.
12?
12. So some of these bodies have seemed like their skin has been burned and boiled and peeled off.
I say a small prayer as I hold on to my crucifix and then move on.
There is no time for prayers in Soviet Russia. Grigor, and is finally into the smoking room. There's an exquisite wood door. It leads into this smoking room with leather chairs. Satin finish, chess pieces scattered about underfoot. You see 5 what you assume are coal stokers covered in soot and dirt. They died here. They were playing a game of poker.
Unmute. Do they look like they died in agony like everybody else, or did smoking do them in?
Why don't you roll me a d20 and I'll tell you how it seems these guys died.
16.
Oh man, there's nothing. You can't tell how they died, but each one of them has this look of horror on their face, as if whatever killed. It's almost as if they were frightened to death. They're just, this look on their face is just how you imagine somebody who would be scared to death, what their face would look like. There's just the shock, this fear. You could, despite a decade of death and or a decade plus of being dead, you could still almost see the fear in their eyes, their frozen, solid eyes.
Is there a humidor here in the? I'll grab a handful of cigars and put them inside my coat to warm up. Or I'll grab the whole frozen chunk. I have big pockets in my parka.
Absolutely. You do, it is a smoking room. You do find some smoking paraphernalia.
Will we meet up back in the central area to discuss what we've seen? Well,
Yes.
I will go out and I will describe to the others, if they come, what I've seen in the smoking room.
So at this point, you've all taken at least 10 to 15 minutes to kind of you're all been poking around in your rooms here, looking at what you got. Except Oleg, because Oleg, just kind of waiting on in the hall,
Yeah, Oleg's just sitting there, just shaking his head,
But you are in the upper deck, and there are through these portholes, there's shadow. You hear the shadows, and at one point, you can almost hear the barking of your dogs.
So is that statement general to all of us?
I mean, I would say the shadows statements. Whenever you see, Ludmilla would see it in the skylights. Any of the smoking room would have had it. A windows. The lounge would have had it. So you do see the shadows, and I think Oleg is the one who's kind of unoccupied enough to actually be hearing the dogs frantically. The frantic barking, but it is deep under. You're deep into the boat now, so it's faint.
Yeah, I yell, Pavel, brother.
Yes.
There's the dog, the dogs there. I can hear them from here. They're making much noise. Something is getting them upset, scaring them.
Okay, let's take a look. Let's go back.
That's our ride.
Can we go back to the front of the ship and look over to see if what's going on with them?
Well, so you guys all meet up in the promenade, on the upper deck, at the stairs. Oni has come down. You guys are all meet up. So your plan is to go back out?
We got to check on the dogs, because that's
to check out the dogs. So wherever the shooting area was, could we see them from there? Because that sort of is outside, right? So,
well, no, the shooting gallery was kind of enclosed by snow and ice. It was just it was once open, but it is now not open. Is what?
Could we see the dogs from the bridge? Because if that's the case, I'd like to go back up on the bridge.
It is, but as as you all meet up, you don't hear the dogs. Even you all do not hear the dogs.
It must be okay.
Or they are all dead.
However,
in either case, there's nothing for us to do
from your fantasy monsters killing them.
Not so much of a fantasy anymore, is it, Oleg?
Not so much of a fantasy. That's what you sound like. I'm sorry. I'm getting cranky. I've had too much to drink and I have not eaten enough food. I will take it down a little bit.
Here's a buck or a can of Kippers for you. Enjoy.
We can go and have a peaceful evening repast at the at the sleds, and we can check on the dogs, and then we can like regroup and go down below. What troubles me, however, from listening to your accounts of the other rooms is that something overcame a whole squad of soldiers. And I don't think that the guns we brought are going to do much better.
Did Oni just come from the upstairs, from the outer area? You hear anything with dogs? Oni, you hear any noise? Everything okay with our ride home back to home?
Did I end up hearing them on my way down?
Yeah, you would have heard them, and then you heard the barking, and then it did stop, and it was almost a fearful, frantic barking, and then the barking stopped suddenly.
Yikes.
Or at least it got lesser and lesser, and then it suddenly stopped.
Guys, the dogs. I heard them. We should probably go look. See if dog's okay. You will come up? Yes?
Yeah, let us go.
Yep.
All right, so you head back. You're back up to the bridge, and you're looking out onto the promenade, and the light now is getting dim outside. You know, it's you're in the north. You know, it gets dark early here, right?
Yep.
But you see something sloping down from where you left the dogs, and it's a big shape. But you can't tell what it is because, you know, it's gray, it's dark, it's far. But you see movement. But you also see where the dogs were, like a darkness, like a stain on the ground. So something is moving from the dogs, where the dogs were, to where you are now. But you do not hear or see the dog movement, but you see this other movement. And it is something large, but you can't tell what it is from here. It's lumbering towards the boat that you're currently on.
Does it see us specifically? Is there any way to tell that?
There is no way to tell.
I want to take one of our rifles and shoot at it.
You're about to find out, Oleg, not to harp on your brother when this Krampus eats us. So, you know, I apologize. Quickly, yes. I apologize very quickly.
Pavel, why you attract this thing to us?
Make noise and bring it and let it know our location.
While we argue, I go down to the shooting deck and get some more rifles.
Sean, roll me a D8.
Yay. I have one of those.
Figured.
I got a 6.
Very good. At this point, you take your aim, you fire your shot, and it seems like this you hit this bulk of this creature. You said a 6?
Yes.
And you hear a roar, a large roar, and then you see it stop, and it looks at you, and I would like you to make a will check for me.
Is will the same as sanity?
Basically.
In this case, yeah, I'm gonna bet it is.
I rolled a 6 and my will is 12.
You lose one will point from that, but so your will is now down to 11. But it's like it sees you, and whatever it is sees, like it scares the hell out of you, but it doesn't. But that's you don't faint or anything out of that. But there's just something off. Like you see its red eyes looking right at you, Even though at this distance you think, how is that possible? And what am I looking at? And you can't even tell. And you've hit it, and that's that. And then it runs off.
Brother, you look shook. Are you? I've seen this face only but a few times.
Perhaps it is something other than Krampus. Let us not speak of it. And I grab my crucifix again. We know the gun scared it away, though. Where did Grigor go? I look around and don't see him.
Someone should come back with a whole armful of rifles.
Excellent.
I take a rifle. I strap it over me.
I figured that the rifles were still on the sled, so I wasn't going down there.
We should not be left alone anymore. Stay in groups.
Well, it's getting dark, and we certainly cannot make our way back on foot at night. So we have to set up camp here on the ship.
Well, Oleg found a door that locks. Maybe there are other doors that locked. We can stay in one of those. Let's keep looking. I suggest we go down to the lower decks while there is still some light.
I suggest we don't split the party anymore.
Agreed.
All right, so you are heading down to the main deck, is my understanding.
I'm going to take my parka off and take my red shirt off and put my parka back on.
No, no need to worry about the locked door that Oleg told you about, correct?
We could kick it in, but then we would have to barricade it if we hid in there.
I think we may want to just find out if there's something behind this door that may be worth looking at.
All right, let's.
Can I kick it?
Yeah, someone can
kick it in.
Someone can make me a strength roll.
I'll try first. It's not going to go well, but I'm going to try. Yeah, I know.
Oh, little brother.
move aside, Oleg.
I kick it, and then fly backwards.
Perhaps two of us can take a bench from the parlor and batter the door.
No need, Grigor.
I hold my hand up. I say, Ludmilla, can you help me up, please?
I got a 15, and my strength is 15.
She grudgingly helps you up.
Yeah, so like with a look of shame against to his brother, Pavel like busts the door down, and you find yourself into a small, cramped office. There are bookshelves lined with journals. There's a desk straining under piles of papers. There is a stout sea chest under the desk. And so it's just a small purser's den, like a small office, as it were.
After I brush the shame off of my trousers, aka dirt and dust and whatever, I look through the journals on the bookshelves and whatnot and see if there's any additional notes either there on the desk or something, like anything that could potentially have any more information or observations on what we have witnessed so far.
Sure, absolutely. So you find, you search through the papers for a few minutes. So everybody else has a couple minutes to think about what they want to do in the small room. You find yourself a cargo manifest. tells you all the stuff. But what catches your eye about this cargo manifest, besides like food, X amount of barrels of vodka, all this amount of food, what you notice is that some of the food has, like, some of the crates of food were dumped out at some point to make room for gold in this cargo manifest.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like an odd thing that catches your eye about this.
Oni. This now, because I say this not knowing what he found, right? So
Correct.
I say it. So Oni, and looking through all of these journals, like take a look at this manifest and tell me if you see something odd.
Well, I take a look at it. Do I notice the food dump for gold?
Absolutely, you do, and you know that if that much food it doesn't make any sense to have. You pack a boat for the food you need. To dump food is just. It doesn't make any sense to you why somebody would do that.
Yeah, so you see it too, yes?
Yes, there's just bit of golds and they got rid of the food.
So brother, they dump food from this boat to
well, before we go further with the questions of that, what does everybody else want to do in this little room? Is anybody else interested in?
Oni's gonna check his coat to see if he feels the note from earlier as this happens.
You're gonna feel the note, I'm
gonna try to feel the note, make sure I still have it in the pocket I put it in.
Yeah, so maybe for the last it's been on your mind. You just keep looking at it, and there it is. There's your name. There's those Oni Bogdanov. You run the ship. You were given command of this whole flotilla, all these boats and everything on it. You're in command of it, and it's just you can't. You just keep looking at it, and you pull it out. There it is again. There's your name, Oni Bogdanov. It's strange.
He's a freaking medic. He's a medic. Why would a medic get all the ships?
It's weird.
But yeah,
Igor's going to look through to try to find transcription logs to see where they were headed. Or maybe from, but whatever, if that's a possibility.
All right, so you're going through journals and basically they didn't have a fixed destination is what the issue what you notice, and that's kind of odd to you that this whole fleet, there's this whole fleet. They left certain areas, but they didn't have a set destination, and that kind of is odd for you. But you also notice that they did call for an SOS at one port near the Dixon seaport.
As a guide, would I know where the Dixon seaport was in relation to where we're at?
Sure. It is in the middle of the sea route between Murmansk and where your survey is supposed to be. So kind of like this large bay area, there's another seaport that you're aware of, and midway between here and there is where this SOS seems to have come from.
So Igor says to the group, well, what I can discern from this is they had no route, and I think their destination was right here. Yes, they have nowhere else to go.
Grigor and Ludmilla and Pavel, what have you been doing for these last few minutes as everybody's done their investigation?
Rifling the sea chest.
Absolutely. I knew somebody was rifling that sea chest.
It's a mimic. Rifle.
You stick to it. We are back in D&D land as it mimics you. No. We got I'm just rolling some stuff here. You find 43 silver coins. You find yourself a nice, richly bejeweled Fabergé egg. It's a beautiful piece. And
such decadence.
And not only is it beautiful, but as you like grab it, you feel warmth coming off of it, even through your large gloves that you're wearing. You know, I'm sure you're wearing out here in the ice. There's still like there's a heat to it. There's warmth to it. And as you even pull it out of the as you pull it, do you pull it out of the sea chest? Are you keeping this close to your vest? What do you? You tell me.
I'm holding it in both hands with a sense of wonder, and just look what I found.
Yes, and this is like the first. You've been out on this ice, this tundra for weeks now. It's cold. It's bitter. It's even though it was, like you came at the end of summer, it's been cold, and like the nights are even colder, and you get your fires. You start that. But this is like true. This egg is giving just this warmth that you haven't felt in a long time. This is like back home underneath the giant blanket covers, just comforting warmth. And as you pull it out, like you even notice that you see some of the walls glistening where there used to be frost. Like the warmth of this egg is even spreading up just enough to melt a little bit of the ice that's out here.
That might be useful for the frozen dork at the end of the gallery. I will put it in my pocket if nobody takes interest.
I'm not looking into the room. I'm staring out behind us, sort of thousand-eyed stare, and making sure that I don't hear or see anything.
All right.
Rummaging through the stuff.
Ludmilla, what are you up to?
I noticed Oni looking very suspicious, grabbing something in his pocket and looking at it, and I want to see if I can figure out what it is.
All right, why don't you roll me dexterity as you kind of stealthily over. Yeah.
Oh, geez. Yeah, no, definitely not.
I mean, you've
dexterous.
Oni's like very surreptitiously looking at this, like you see him, he's looking. And why don't you roll me another d20 just to see what happens here?
All right. Well, I got a 13, but my dex is 8.
So yeah, Oni, you've noticed full well that Ludmilla is completely eavesdropping on you. Like she like
nosy.
She knocks over some papers as she's trying to get closer to like look over your shoulder, and as you look at your note one more time.
Get that last glance and then fold it up and put it away and go, Ludmilla, what
Oh, nothing. Just trying to look around.
Yes, look.
Did you find something on this boat?
No, not from my wife.
I've never seen that before. We've been together for a few weeks now.
Ooh.
Well, I haven't needed to look at it. The thing we saw outside, it rocked me a little. Got to reassure myself.
Okay.
It's nothing. Private.
If you say so.
I am sure everything. I'm sure everything is fine. Ludmilla on the up and up with Oni. He is fine. He's fine. Educated. A doctor support for us for our team, and he has done great work for us over the last however long we've been here.
I know how wonderful Oni is. He does not need you to talk him up. He is.
God damn.
A great medic.
She is not picking up what Oleg is throwing down.
Man, I wish there was persuasion checks in this game.
It's all conversation, and Ludmilla says no.
yeah. I just go. Fine. When you are cut open by this by this crazy beast. We'll see how you feel then about help from other people.
Man, going full incel. Wow.
Damn.
All right, so that is that is the 15 minutes or so you've spent in this area, this long turn.
I don't think this room looks very defensible. Perhaps we should find another area that we can barricade.
I mean, it is small, so it would be hard for something to get to us. But I don't think that we'd be very comfortable in this room.
So what do you say? There is, you can go down the 4 stairs again to the main deck, or somebody did find the aft staircase, the opulent aft staircase, to also head down to the main deck. What will it be?
Bigger staircase. I think we could get more lines of sight if necessary.
You said there was a frozen door at the end of the gallery.
That actually led to the.
Oh, so it wasn't like frozen. I did go through it then.
Yeah, it just headed to the lounge.
All right.
Sorry for the confusion.
Down is down. Which staircase, as Pavel asked.
So yeah, you go down the aft staircase, which is the larger one found from the whatever room that was. That was the lounge that you further went in. So Pavel found the lounge, found the large. You go down to the main deck, you would think would be filled with passenger suites. It's also filled with passenger bodies. The main deck is in utter darkness. The few portholes that are on the main deck are buried deep in the snow, and only outlines are visible when you do not have your flashlights. But I assume you all put those on, right?
Yeah.
And
in
the stillness and the quiet of this, as you head down to this main deck, you hear just very faintly, a ship's bell echoing through the hallways.
Did you all hear that?
Does it sound like it's just there's no waves to move the ship?
No, it sounds very much like an alarm.
Perhaps someone's still living. Shall we head towards the rifles drawn towards the bell?
But sure, but as you head down, you are in a large dining hall, is where this opulent staircase went down. It's so dark. It's like you shine the lights on. It's a very large dining hall. It could fit, dozens, if not 100 people. There's pillars propping up the the room. There are long dining tables. There are, other hallways coming to and fro this room. On the opposite side of you, you see a set of double doors. And yeah, I mean, there's bodies around, obviously, like you found in other spots. Somebody wants to roll me a D20 to give a, kind of idea of who. Ludmilla, why don't you roll me a D20? Tell me what the body is. A good body you find.
15.
15. Oh yeah. You see somebody like chewing on somebody else, like a body that was chewing on somebody else's another body, but this, the one that is chewing has been shot. But they were like as if they were mid eating somebody and they got shot.
Oh,
this is what happens when you jettison food.
But yeah, you're in this large dining area, and there's, like I said, there's hallways going to and fro, And on the opposite side of you, there is a double door with portholes.
That must be kitchen. Hey, Oleg, grab yourself new fork.
But that only has one part to it anymore. It's like a toothpick now.
Okay, but there are plenty of forks on table.
I swap it out for a new one. And this time I take 2 forks.
So as you you grab a fork from off one of the plates, something catches your eye, and it is a porcelain doll. An old, it's marred by age and frost, and it's on a one of the smaller family tables that you just grabbed on, and next to this porcelain doll, this creepy little doll that's just staring at you. But not only is the creepy doll staring at you, but also the shriveled up human eye on the plate next to the doll is also staring at you.
Nope.
You can make me a will save.
I knew that was coming. Yeah, it's over, right? Meet or beat, right?
It's under meet or beat.
Oh, okay, cool. Great. Yeah, I failed.
All right.
But just by 1 point, though.
Well, you only lose 1 point too, so you lose
cool.
1 point of will, and you let out like a scream. You can't, and inadvertently, just like like you can't help.
Oh
it.
yeah.
It's just,
I scream in a couple octaves higher than I talk.
Right,
and
like
I smash the eyeball on the table with my hand, like out of just instinctual reaction of grossness. As I look away, I go, and like swat at it.
Very good. Yeah, that's you all hear that. Oleg is having an issue back there.
And nobody checks on me.
Brave the night with the Krampus, or do you want to stay on this creepy boat?
Nobody gives a shit about Oleg.
Poor Oleg.
God damn.
Stay on target here, Oleg. What'd you do? Stub your toe?
There was a frozen eyeball on table. You want frozen eyeball on table, brother?
No.
Yes, I think not. Thank you very much. And here's creepy doll, and I throw the creepy doll at him too.
Before it even gets to me, I knock it down. No creepy dolls.
I guess we continue down through the dining room.
So yeah, as you get closer to those double doors at the end, you start noticing the smell of fresh baking coming from those doors.
Okay, this isn't getting any less creepy. Why don't I just roll a will save right now?
No, I mean,
why is kitchen still running?
All right, go ahead and make me that will save.
They have no food. They just have gold.
They only have gold.
They're cooking crew.
Oh, I got a 20, so it's automatic fail.
Oh, dude, I mean, as much as that Fabergé egg reminded you of home, and that was comfort, but this smell, does Grigor have a wife?
No, actually his backstory, I think he got kind of exiled here he's done survey after survey in the far north, so I don't think he does.
Well, this is childhood. What is Grigor's favorite dish that his mother made? When he was growing up, when he was just a young little Grigor, when in Russia before the fall, when things were still fine, before the changes.
It has to be the dill and cucumber salads that had in the summer kitchen.
Yeah, you could smell that dill, right? You could smell that fresh. It's summer to you, right? Like this is like you have the warm egg in your pocket. You smell that dill. You smell that cucumber, and you just can't help yourself. You've eaten so much tinned food in the last months, years of your life. Like when was the last time you had a fresh, just fresh herb cucumber. Oh, it's so delicious to you.
Not in 10 years.
Oh, you just want to open that door. You just want to go in there. You just want that food.
At the fast pace, fast walk, I go to the door and just push them open.
Yeah, so you enter the galley, the kitchen galley, and this is there's cooking equipment all about, supplies. You see gas ranges, you see the coal stoves, shelves lined with cans as boxes, and that smell of dill. As soon as you open that door, immediately turns to smell of rot and mildew. You see one of the baking racks open up, and just fungus and mildew are spilling out. But yet, you can smell the dill still, like despite all like the fungus that is there. Like it's kind of a strange mix. It almost, in fact, it does make you gag. Make me another will save.
All right. A 16 and my will is 9.
Yeah, like you just retch. You just this. It's doing something to your psyche. This mildew smell of rot with this wonderful smell of your youth. Just the mixture of it just busts your senses up. You take 1 will damage, and you just puke, and it's just nasty. And it's just like it's a very much like. It's almost like it's ruined that memory for you. That's how bad it is. But the galley continues onward, eventually leading to the 4th staircase. And coming from that 4th staircase, you hear that bell a little bit. It's still faint, but it's louder in this area. And you also notice on a butcher's table, there's a severed finger with a ring on it.
Oh, nice. Well, first, I assume everybody's coming in the kitchen with me, and so I'm not the only one to see that.
No, I think, depending on what everybody else does, yeah.
I will first take time to rinse my mouth with vodka, and then I will continue to explore. Nice ring. Is there any feature to a wedding ring, or is it a signet?
It is a signet ring. It has a Rosicrucian signet. I've heard of the Rosicrucians. I'm not familiar entirely with what a Rosicrucian signet would look like, but by all means, Google a Rosicrucian symbol, and that will tell you what the signet looks like.
So you said the bell's a little bit louder?
Yeah, so like the end of this kitchen galley that Grigor is looking through is another staircase. This is that tiny, the smaller 4 staircase that you went down to the other deck to, but it is coming louder from the lower decks in this area. Hold on a second, please. Go ahead.
All right, I shine my light down the stairs to see if I see anything.
You point it down, and the staircase keeps going down, and the ground, it looks like sludgy and black at the very bottom of the staircase, and that's all you can make out from here.
Mm-hmm.
There are more hallways that would lead to more areas on this main deck if you were so inclined to do that. And go ahead.
I will sling my rifle, and as well as the ring that I pocket, I will take the meat cleaver from the butcher's block. Since we're in close quarters now.
Give me a moment to take a refreshment break. You guys talk amongst yourself about what you found.
I don't want to go down the stairs because if it's wet down there, we're not going to find a place to camp for the night. So we should stay on this floor.
I agree. I think we might need to be less picky about the quarters we barricade.
Yep.
We need to just not be in same room with creepy doll.
Agreed.
Also,
any bodies we find, any creepy dolls, any oven full of fungus, we remove from the room before we barricade. Now, this weird egg in my pocket that I think is making everything warm, is that just me, or do you guys feel this too?
I am not feeling the egg in your pants pocket.
I hold out my hand. I
showed it to you earlier before I pocketed it. I pull it back out, and do anybody feel the warmth from this?
I hold out my hand and say, "You can put it in my hand. I'll tell you."
Yeah, I'll put it in your hand.
Yeah, it's very warm. It's very warm to Oleg as well.
Say, "Oh, this is quite wonderful." And I start rubbing my armpits with it. I'm like, it just not like directly armpits, like over my like in between my jacket and long johns, right? So I'm like trying to warm up myself a little bit, and then I give it back to him. I say, that was wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm not just crazy.
Maybe Ludmilla, are you cold? And I say it in the least offensive way possible.
And yet it still comes out creepy, Oleg.
No, I'm used to cold.
I spend much time in school, very, very little time learning proper social skills, except with brother. Pavel and I, we can always talk to each other, and no matter how mean we might be, we are brothers. We survive together.
This little shit is right.
See what I mean?
This is bringing up traumatic memories for me. Jeez. All right. So yeah, that's like what at this point. So like you're talking, you're feeling the egg. And despite the warmth of it, Oleg is still feeling the cold shoulder from Ludmilla. And at this point, you hear the shattering of glass and a thump from above you.
Ooh.
Like a heavy, it's a heavy thump and the shattering of glass echoing down his hallways.
Pick a room. Go. Are we all gonna like shuffle into different rooms like Scooby-Doo
style?
The guys in here.
Yeah.
So Igor, if you don't mind, Ludmilla, and Pavel go into one room.
I'm going into the same goddamn room.
Already barricaded. What do we do?
All right, so you enter, you all enter a room, you go down a random hallway, you enter some quarters. You find yourself in a labyrinth of hallways as you've left, the galley, the kitchen galley and the dining hall. You're just hallways and rooms. The floor is slick with ice. You find storage rooms, but you do find some crew quarters.
With crew in them?
What?
Is there crew in them?
Of course there are. Roll me a d20.
11.
11, yeah. There as you're going, you enter one of the crew quarters, and there are several bodies by the wall with multiple shot wounds, almost as if they were lined up and executed. Maybe that's possibly what happened in this room.
I think we remove the bodies before we hole up here.
I'm starting to wonder if rather than be defensive, we should be offensive and go upstairs and check out what that thump was.
Okay, you first.
You first, my friend.
I take another drink of. Excuse me. I take another drink of vodka before I follow.
Igor should go first, brother.
Why?
Yeah, why?
He seems like tough knowledge guide.
I spit on you, Oleg. So am I.
For fuck's sake, I'm trying to look out for you. You never pick up on that shit.
I'm looking out for all of us.
Likely story is I wiped spit off my face.
I don't want to be executed in my sleep in a small room in the dark.
I agree, Igor. You're very brave. You take front, yeah. Yes.
I already shot that thing once, and it screamed. That means it can be hurt.
Oh, please, by all means, brother. Then you go first.
I will go first.
Do not let me stop you.
So that sounds like a vote for going back upstairs to see what you could see, huh?
Yep.
All right.
Rifle on shoulder, me cleaver in hand. I'll follow behind.
You do know there are two ways up. There is the aft stairwell that you came down. This is the kind of the larger, more fancy stairwell leading up to the upper deck. Or there is the fore staircase, which is the more narrow passageway that you did not take down.
The big one.
The big one, it is. All right. You go upstairs.
Spot me, whoever's behind me, just in case. You all have guns?
It's definitely not Oleg.
You all have guns?
I did grab enough rifles for us all. If we didn't get enough, there was the shooting gallery. So everyone should have a rifle.
Okay.
And so you head up to the lounge, and there is nothing there in the lounge, but you know that leads off to the the smoking room, leads back to the shooting gallery, and eventually back towards the saloon, which is where. Yes, so that's that.
And we don't have any sense of where the thump we heard was, or the glass.
All you know is that you heard glass, like a shattering of glass, and the large thump, but no idea where.
All right, and we don't see that here, so let's keep moving on to see if we can find it.
To the smoking room, to the shooting gallery. What will it be?
Smoking room.
Yeah. So you open the door here, and it's the same scene as before, with the 5 coal stokers covered in soot and dirt, with the look of horror on their faces and dead. But otherwise, it is quiet here.
Shooting gallery.
Let's do it.
So yeah, you go into the shooting gallery, and Igor, at this point, you do notice that, like, you were the one who spent the most time here contemplating what you saw, what you've seen, and you notice that nobody else would notice this, but it seems to you like some of the bodies have been at least one or two of the bodies have been moved.
I did retrieve rifles from here, so I moved bodies too.
Not like that.
Well, it could be that.
That one there was frozen completely into the ice.
Now that guy was not unsealing before, so that's new.
This Krampus is in there. I can tell. He knows where we're at.
Bullets does it take to kill a Krampus, Igor?
Well, just one. If you point it at your head, and he kind of nods over at that guy.
Well, that guy was still eating, so it didn't help.
Mm-hmm.
to the saloon.
Yeah.
All right.
I got a feeling there'll be jackpot here.
You enter the saloon, and you know that this room was kind of the brightest lit room that you'd seen before. But at this point now, you've spent a few hours out here on the ice. It is the light is fading quickly. It is very dim. And you notice, you at first, you feel a cold breeze coming in from up above you, and you think, oh man, one of those skylights must have broken. This is probably where that glass adhered. And then you notice, you shine the lights around, and you notice one of the tables is not actually a table, as what you thought was a table at first glance stands up a large 10-foot creature matted with blood on, teeth. You just see teeth and red eyes and just blood on its maw and on his claws, this big white furred monstrosity. I would like everybody to make me a will save.
Oh.
As this creature stands in front of you with his hungry gaze.
Well, my will was 12, but then it went down to 11, and I rolled a 12. So,
well, that does not help you at this point, does it?
It would have.
I got a 5, and so I pass.
I rolled over.
I also rolled over.
All right. So, any successes?
I got a 2. I was under.
Grigor succeed.
And is there anything for like the worst? I mean, I missed it by 15.
Okay, so I would say Igor, just like you run, like that's there's something about this hulking mass of a monster that just scares the crap out of you, and you just like it's jokes, Krampus, I'm Snowman, Yeti, these shit. You don't like deep down. You're like, it is stories. It's like you've never seen anything, but now you have, and just that idea is just it's destroyed you. You're gonna drop a will point from that also, and you just run. And Oni and Grigor, you're able to do something.
I'm getting off this boat. He screams, but yeah.
Since I'm standing right behind Pavel, I kind of have meat shield, and I ready my meat cleaver for if he comes to attack us. I can swipe at its arm.
I mean, it's coming to attack you, so I guess
I will swipe at its arm.
All right, and Oni, what would you like to do?
Oni, having one of those rifles from the shooting gallery, is just gonna pull it up and try to get a shot off at it.
All right. I will tell you this, Oni, that this creature is going to get there before you act. So that could be fine for you if that's what you want, or you can make a dexterity save to try to move yourself up on the dexterity order, like the initiative order. The initiative order is dexterity based, so it's going to go Igor, Grigor, then this creature, then Oni.
Igor, Grigor.
Yeah.
Igor, Grigor, and the lounge and body. What was the name of the band earlier?
Yeah, you know what? Oni will go ahead and do that. He'll try to move himself up in the dex order here.
Yeah, go for it. Roll the dex save.
Trying to get the shot off before. It was a natural 20, so.
Oh, man. In other games, that's amazing.
No.
I'm fumbling with the rifle. I'm not going to get up before.
Yeah, so that doesn't happen, but.
I have my wits about me, but I
so, yeah, Pavel, you're up front, unfortunately. You're frozen in fear, unfortunately. So it's going to claw you, unfortunately.
For the record, I was trying to get it before, so sorry.
I know, but so what's going to happen is that this is all like a simultaneous thing. You guys are going to roll. I guess Grigor, you roll your damage for the rifle, which is a D8.
No, I was using a cleaver.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a D6 because it's a sharp.
I was swinging at its claws as the claws were swimming at Pavel.
All right, so you can roll that.
D6?
Yeah, D6.
That was a 6.
Well, 6 is nice. So yeah, like you managed to like dig your thing into it just as it's clawing Pavel. Pavel, you are taking 5 damages.
Okay.
And then, actually, Oni, you roll for me too. I guess with your gun, with your rifle.
And that's a D8 for a
and
rifle.
that is a D8. Yes.
5.
So yeah, actually, like between all this action, that like your rifle goes wide, because what happens when you're all attacking one creature is that only one of the damages goes. That's just how the rules is. And since Grigor rolled a 6, it goes above that. It's better than that. So yeah, this thing takes a big swipe at Pavel, but it also gets a cleaver jabbed into its the meat of its arm, but it's the blood is still out, but it roars at you. And everybody else had failed, so let's go back to Igor, who you're running away, right? Where you?
So Igor knows exactly what he's doing. There's that snowbank right behind the parlor from the collapsed ship wall, and he scrambles over that way, and he's just going to start clawing up at the snow and the ice to try to see if he can, like, he's literally just trying to run away.
Trying to like get off the boat, like completely.
He's frantically running. He's leaving his comrades behind.
Why don't you make me a?
He's so terrified.
Make me a dexterity saving throw.
All right, 12 is under a 17.
Well, there you go. So you're able to scramble over this ice, and like you head back. You're just running on the ice, right? So that's you.
So he manages to get break through.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess maybe as he's screaming and yelling, you hear him fade off, and maybe the party notices that he made its way out. But right, he's not concerned with that. I'm just hoping the party knows.
Party knows that you've run off like a coward. All right, let's everybody else can tell me what they want to do. Knowing full well that it goes Grigor, then this monster, and if anybody wants to move closer up in this order, please let me know now and tell me what you're doing.
I'd like to shoot my rifle, and I'd like to go before the monster if I could.
Then roll me a dexterity to try to go before the monster.
I rolled a 7 and my dex is 10.
You are able to move yourself up in the initiative order past the monster.
I will slash at it again with the cleaver. Again,
all right.
Maybe I'll chop its his hand off.
How did I miss putting Ludmilla on here? It goes because you're all the way at the bottom. All right, so that's I know what Grigor is doing. I know what Pavel is doing. What is Oleg doing? What is Oni doing? And what is Ludmilla doing? Let's go with down in the order I have. Oni, what are you doing?
Oni is going to try to load up another rifle round here, and backpedal as much as possible to try to get away from where the action's happening.
All right. That brings me to Oleg. What is Oleg doing? Oleg
is
Bill?
unmuting.
Sorry, I forgot my name for a second. Oleg is going to, although he's got the rifle strapped to his back, he's actually going to pull out the pistol that he's been carrying this whole time, and fire the pistol at the monster.
Okay, and then Ludmilla. Then what?
Backing up and firing off a rifle. Hopefully.
All right, so why don't we, and this thing is going to slash at, oh man, it's actually going to try to bite at Grigor because Grigor did some damage to it. So why don't everybody roll their, damages? See where we're at.
What do I roll for that? D8?
D8.
For the gun?
No, the pistol's a D6.
Okay.
I got a 4 damage.
3, 1, 4.
3.
I got an 8.
Yay!
Nice.
8. So here's what happens.
Kill him before I get bit.
Unfortunately, so like Grigor, you slash at it, but in the scrum of it, like the roaring and the fear, you totally miss. Pavel, you shoot off a rifle, but it goes wide. The creature slashes at Grigor or bites at Grigor, doing 5 damage to Grigor.
All right, so I have 4 hit points, so I'm now.
So the hit points are 0, and then your strength drops by 1.
By 1, and do I have to make a roll now?
Yes, make me a saving throw against your new strength roll.
I got a 5, which is under 11.
Then it is not a critical hit, despite taking your hit points completely down. It is not critical. So that
hit my shoulder, and the rifle was there and saved part of me. So
Pavel, we said you miss Oleg. You're maybe you haven't actually ever used a rifle or a pistol during your school days. We're just going with that, and you totally missed. But Ludmilla, with just waiting patiently in the back, takes out her rifle and shoots this creature right in its evil red eye, and it collapses down onto the ground, dead at your feet. This monstrosity. Thump.
Killed the Wampa, or the Krampus, or the Yeti. We're not quite sure. Maybe Oni can diagnose.
Right? So this is not one of the monsters I know about.
To be sure it's dead first.
And how do you be sure it's dead, Oni? How do you be sure it's dead?
Oni tries to fire another bullet at it.
Absolutely. You unload some more shots into it, and more blood comes out of it. But that's the end of the story. That is the end of the monster, at least as far as you can tell. It is.
There's another weird shit
dead.
going on.
It looks. I mean, to you, looking at it now, you're like, yeah, this is a polar bear, but just the sheer mass of it and just the viciousness of it, there's something more beyond just a polar bear. There's something unnatural about it, but that is where we're at. We are also at the time where we normally end, and I think this is a great spot to end the adventure right now.
I say before we go that I don't have enough sample preservation fluid for this thing, and I take another drink.
Level up?
Absolutely, level up, which, yeah.
I get a long rest. Can I get my hit points back?
All the levels.
I get an extra match.
I think you're back at the base camp.
Well, if we're going to end it, Igor goes out there. He's skittering in the darkness. He hears nothing. He realizes he's by himself. He's shaking. He goes to grab his opium pipe. I guess he's got opium. I'm assuming it's like a pipe. I don't know what they do. Yeah. And
right.
He grabs it, and as he lights it, he drops his flashlight down on the ice. And he's panting. And then his flashlight shatters. Now he's out there in the complete darkness.
Beautiful. We will pick up on that thread, see what happens to Igor and the rest of our Russian surveying team next week, shall we?
That was a lot of fun. Character, I guess.
Cool.
That was good.
Awesome.
I hope you enjoyed it. So
that was great.
Yeah, very different. Cool. I like the setting.
I definitely have more for next week, and we'll see. We'll see where next week gives us. Bill.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
I guess I'll let you know at the end of night next week whether or not we're done or whether or not there's more. So
sounds good.
How many of us are dead?
month out.
Yeah, we're about like a month out. Right?
Month out. Got it.
Right.
Perfect. See y'all guys later.
All right.
All right,
Have a
thanks,
good
Hank.
night.
Yeah,
Have a
it's
good
fun.
night.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Yep, thank-
Greetings, comrades. We hope you enjoyed part 1 of Ice Fleet. I know I sure did. I cannot wait to see how much worse it gets for our comrades as they continue to investigate the mysteries that await them. Do you think Igor will make it? Tune in for part 2 and find out. If you enjoyed this RPG and would like to suggest other RPGs for the Wednesday night crew to play when we take breaks from Eberron Adventures, message us on our Patreon at patreon.com/Eberron Adventures. And thanks for listening.